Have you ever wanted to know what playing your favorite modern games is like on a CRT monitor? Well, guess what? I got you covered with my on a CRT monitor series. This is a ViewSonic P810 professional series CRT, and it can push some pixels. And by pixels, I mean not pixels, because this is a cathode ray tube and it doesn't use pixels. This is Warzone 2. Maybe not your favorite game. It did come out pretty recently. If it's already your favorite, I don't know. That says something about you. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's definitely something. Now, I will show you the gameplay, but first I'll just do a brief little setting tour. This right here, I am playing in full screen. It automatically has my monitor listed on here, which is really nice for you to be able to swap over to it. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a name. It's PNP monitor, which is just a generic name, but it does detect my display resolution right here, which is 1600 by 1200. Now, that doesn't mean a ton because our automatic aspect ratio has black bars at the top and the bottom. Why? Well, it's probably putting us in 16 by 9, which is, the default that everyone's going to be using. Why do I keep clicking audio? But if we take a look, yeah, so we have wide, 16 by 10, 16 by 9, 21 by 9, and 32 by 9. They only do wide on here. I don't know if Modern Warfare 2 is the same, but that's how Warzone 2 is. I'm assuming it has something to do with playing stretched res. A lot of competitive games now don't like it whenever you do that, because people complain about it, and then they complain to the devs. And that's just not a good time for any of those people involved, really. So I think games are kind of starting to cut that out, which means it is very hard to be able to properly game on this if you're wanting to play some of the competitive games, which I think would kind of be fitting in the wheelhouse of wanting to use a CRT monitor. Now, why would you want to use a CRT monitor? I say this in all my videos because I don't know if you've seen any of my other on a CRT monitor things. Oh, okay, so this actually this knows what the resolution is. It lets me use the cursor in the top. It just won't display any of the game. So it's not like it's a weird resolution or aspect ratio, and it's not allowing my monitor to show any of this. Like if I was on, I don't know, a normal monitor with a normal game, it would probably not do this actually, for example, I am in 1600 by 1200 if I manually changed it to a 16 by 9 resolution. I don't know exactly what the closest scale is to that. So for example, if I said 1920 by 1080, it would almost certainly have the black bars and my cursor would smack at the top of it. Am I supposed to hit the button to play? I'm just sitting here. I have played this once, by the way, to make sure that it actually ran. I also didn't pick a gun. Am I supposed to do that? I'm so sorry. Yeah, loadout none. Actually, what if we went with some sort of weapon instead of none? I feel like that could be to my benefit. I'm just smacking things right now because I respectfully don't really care what I have in my loadout. Okay. Yeah, so a lot of games, if you had the actual we have the actual resolution right now. If you had the resolution that the game is pretending that we're at, you would hit the bar. And you would hit the bar there. But this acknowledges, hello, I respect your resolution. I know you have it. And actually, I don't respect it. I don't care. We will not let you use the top. That's just in the menu, though. I don't know if the game is going to be different. We're going to have to take a look. I do believe that it won't be any different, but we'll see. I know I played Fortnite forever ago on this, and I believe stretched res was a thing at the time. I think they don't like it anymore, so I don't know if it'll even work on there anymore. There's just a lot of funny stuff in the competitive landscape with playing these different resolutions, and the only ones they support on this are wide. And they even show you the nice little picture to be able to properly map out what's going on. And basically, the wider you get, the more black bars at the top and bottom you're going to have on the CRT. So probably don't do that. I wouldn't recommend it. Now, maybe you could force the CRT into a 16:9 mode and then kind of stretch it out a little bit with the scaling. And really, if I wanted to, I could go into the menu and kind of stretch it out. But I don't... I mean, I guess you'd be playing in stretched res then, kind of, but... I don't know. I don't know if that's the move. I'm not going to be trying it right here. If any of you guys at home, after seeing this, are like, wow, I got to try it, please get back to me. Let me know. Also, let me know what I'm doing here. I think I'm just following these guys. I know DMZ is not a mode that people played on the original Warzone. I think this is a new mode, and I did not play the original Warzone at all either. So, you know, everything's new to me. What is this? This series is not about me talking about playing the game, by the way. I mean, I will do it a little bit, because I want you to understand how the game flows while I'm doing this. Oh, that's a guy. Hello, guy. That's a gun. Hello, gun. Is this the same thing I have already? Yes. I will be picking that back up. I hope you don't mind too badly. All right, let's go ahead. Oh. I hear somebody. So yeah, obviously, bars at the top and the bottom. I kind of figured that was... Oh, it's locked. Okay. I kind of figured that was going to be the case. Unfortunately, that just, you know, some games are just going to be like that. If you want to see any of the other games that I've tried on here, I do have a playlist, and a lot of them actually are not like this, but I did kind of guess that, you know, if we had them in the menu, it was going to be like that whenever we actually jumped into game, and unfortunately that is the case. What are you doing? So why would you want to play on a CRT monitor? Well, for one, this looks good. Like, it just, like, I mean, you can see on here, it's 1600 by 1200. Like, that's not a low resolution. That's not bad at all. So that's one good thing. If you're able to get one for cheap or just find one around, you I don't want to say pretty much guaranteed, but if you find a CRT monitor, it's probably not going to look bad. You probably aren't going to have to, like, fiddle a ton with things. Whereas if you got a really cheap, like, just normal PC monitor, there's a good chance that it's not something you want to competitively game on. Whereas this thing, just right off the bat, again, I'm not playing in 4K or, you know, some crazy resolution or anything like that, but I feel like I can see just fine. I can push a lot of it. Is this not my teammate? No, that is. His name just disappeared for a second. Yeah, like, look. I got him. I landed a shot all the way across from there. I can still see while I'm playing on this, and you don't have to crank a super high resolution. Also, the way that resolution works on a CRT monitor is very different. You're scaling pixels, so you can lower the resolution on here if your computer is a little less powerful, or if you want a lot more frames per second, and then you can just crank that up and it won't look bad, and you'll still be able to see things. Another thing is, I don't know if you can tell from me doing really stupid things, the motion clarity is really nice. It's very smooth moving around because of the way that response times work on this. Is this something I want? Again, I've played this once, and it wasn't like this. So I don't know what's up. I'm just getting a lot of objectives. Whenever I played this before, it felt very straightforward. Whereas right now, I'm just like, I'm not really 100% on what I'm doing. It's also, you know, probably because I'm very distracted right now. Yeah, I mean, I think that's like most of the settings. There really aren't a ton of CRT specific settings that I could get into right here, I don't believe. I could just sit here for a second and wait for my teammates to actually do something. But I think that playing Call of Duty, I think if you don't mind black bars, or if you want to mess around with trying to stretch the image, like playing in a stretched mode, because I'm not super familiar with playing in stretched res. I was never someone who thought that I wanted to do that. I think the point of stretched res is the hitboxes are kind of bigger. You take a resolution and you squish it into your current one. Like, I think people play in full screen whenever they do that. And I guess technically you could get a very similar effect if you just scaled on the CRT and you can literally just stretch out the image to fill it up. And I guess it should be a very similar effect to what you would get if you were playing on, like a modern display and playing in the not wide resolution that ideally they would give for this, but they hold it back, presumably, so people can't use it on things that aren't CRTs. So I don't know. I do think that it looks great on here. I am having a fine time. Oh god, I was having a better time like 10 seconds ago, actually. Yeah, man, that car, kind of tough. Honestly, didn't really expect that. And I definitely didn't expect him to be able to just sit through all that. So I think that's a good spot to end on. If you guys have anything else you want to see on this title, or if you have any other games that you're interested in learning about how they play on a CRT, or if they can even launch at all and be put on this, please let me know in the comments below. And until the next one, take care. Goodbye.